Hey, it's Rosie. I'm so glad that you're here on my channel. If you like what you see, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'm just excited to share with you. And let me know in the comments what you think about what I teach about. All right, so tonight we are going to talk about targeted support for sleep. And I'll just really quickly remind you about how we got here, what I'm talking about. What do I mean by targeted support? Rosie, you've lost me. Just stick with me. Let me share. So if you haven't already had a chance to be on one of the classes that I teach, this is me, my husband, and our family. We have 5 sons, we have 4 amazing daughter-in-laws, and we now currently have 11 grandkids. The reason why I like to show this picture is because so many times you see that picture up at the top where everybody's looking at the camera, pretty much smiling. It's like, wow, they've got it all together. But then look at this other picture down on the bottom. We were trying to get a picture of just the grandbabies that were there. And this is more like real life. And so as I'm teaching, I want you to put yourself into the picture, right? I want you to see how your life really is. Like there's times when, like the one boy right there on his mom is like, if you just stay for one more picture, I'll give you a sucker, and then the other little boy over on the side, he's just done. And in the back end of this, we had family members who had colds. We had family members who it was nap time. Like it was time to eat. Family photo shoots always take longer than you plan. So I want you to keep that in mind. I'm going to talk about some things you can do and things you can put into place. And either myself or the person who's invited you to watch this class, we know that real life is really happening right now too. And we're here to help and support and empower you in the real life too. So how did we get here? One, we have an entire class that is for a 90-day reset called Renew You. And in that, we cover all the details on like what's the difference between chasing symptoms and addressing the root causes. And this program, we have it all laid out for 3 days, what you do to build a strong foundation and to be able to gently get out the things that are not resourceful for you, right? Do some detoxing and to be able to then load back in the things that are really good. And we've got a great plan. 3 months, 3 phases, 3 objectives. We have this all recorded already on my YouTube channel. Tonight, we're talking about one of the ways you can focus on that targeted support. And as you can see right here, we've got solutions, regardless of what it is that you want to target besides this initial, like month 1, month 2, month 3. We already have the plan laid out for you. Then what are those symptoms you'd like to see some responses on right away, although you do understand how important it is to be addressing the root cause, right? There's no reason to have to wait for some of those symptoms to feel better 3 months from now. We have ways to help support those symptoms right now. So that is where we got to here we are tonight, where I'm teaching about the targeted support of sleep. Like what would you put into that box? If when you did your vitality assessment, sleep was one of those things that came up that you wanted to focus on. Now you might be like, Rosie, what do you mean vitality assessment? So here's what you want to do. Oh, I've got it down here at the end. Here, let's get to it. You want to go to our YouTube channel and you want to look for this video that I've circled, Renew You 90-Day Reset. That goes through the whole program. So if you haven't done that yet, go and do that. You can still watch this video right now. You can still watch this class and you'll want to go watch this, the whole foundation, and then everything will make sense. And in there, it talks about the vitality assessment and how you take it every single month at the beginning of the month so you can help identify what your targeted support is. So, okay, let's skip backwards again, back through all this stuff. All right. What's your sleep score? Okay, so if you're catching the recording later on, or if you're here on live, you can put it down in the chat, right, in the comments. If you're catching the recording, you're seeing this later on our channel, then go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'd like to know, You give yourself 1 point for each of these things that you do within 1 hour of bedtime, and you take away 1 point for any of the things that you do on the other column that you do before bedtime. So, like, instead of watching TV, are you reading a book? Are you dropping the temperature in your room? Are you using some essential oils? Do you meditate or pray? Do some stretching? Some people like to have nice warm, like herbal tea. All of those things you'd get a point for. If you're having something caffeinated, some alcohol, using your phone, overeating, overstimulating, all of those things, take away. And then here's some other things to consider. I want you to think about this when you're trying to decide if targeting sleep is a good thing for you to focus on. And here's a little spoiler alert. If you decide to have your targeted support be sleep, you're actually helping with some foundations as well. It's not just only a symptom relief type of action, right? So how do you usually feel when you wake up? Are you jumping out of bed, ready for the day, or are you dragging your feet? How long does it usually take you to fall asleep? Do you or does someone that sleeps in the same room as you, do they snore? Do you snore? And do you feel sluggish even after you've gotten what would be considered an ample amount of sleep? These are things to consider. These are things to think about. And you can kind of rate yourself on those things, right? So I want to first of all tell you about doTERRA Serenity Sleep System. Now, if you haven't caught one of our foundational classes yet, then there's things that you maybe you know because you've watched other classes, or maybe you don't already know, but there is a level of purity and potency with doTERRA's products that is like none other. And if you don't know me yet, if you haven't met me, I have been using doTERRA's products since 2011. I actually first started using essential oils in the mid 80s. I got the chance to go back to Ireland where my grandparents had immigrated from, and I got my first essential oils when I was over in the UK, over in London. And I also was part owner and herbal apothecary, and I've worked in the field of health and wellness all that time. I for a long time. And I was pretty particular. Like I've always been the person, like I think that I was 11 years old when we first started sourdough in my home. And my mom implemented like using garlic as a natural antibiotic and a bunch of different things. So I've been at this for a long time. And when I learned about the potency and the purity of doTERRA's products, I put them to the test, and that's a whole nother class. But these are 3 of the products that doTERRA has, the Serenity Sleep System. We're going to go into each one and how you can use them and why this trifecta is so powerful in helping to shift your sleep. So first of all, let's take a look at these Serenity soft gels. You can read the things that are on the slide here, but you guys, it says 33% of Americans are not getting the recommended amount of sleep per night. I'm here to tell you it's more. I have coached, as a holistic health coach, I have coached literally thousands of people, and most of them say that sleep is an issue. So personally, I take 2 of these Serenity soft gels every single night. I have them upstairs in my bathroom. And so as I'm starting to get ready for bed, which ends up being about 20 to 30 minutes before I'm going to sleep, I take 2 of these Serenity soft gels. Now, I've coached people, they're like, I did that. I got a bottle. I did that for a month. I didn't notice a difference. Here's what I want to tell you. If you are collecting the data and not just going on what you notice, there is a difference. So I'm the kind of person that I put things to the test. And so I had my app on my phone, I had a tracker that I wore, and I wanted to see what the difference was. Like, was I sleeping deeper? Was I snoring less? Because it'll register that. Was I moving less in the night? And I'm here to tell you I was. It was significantly different. Instead of those graphs looking like this, because I was all over the place for the 6 hours of sleep or so that I was getting, I now get more like 7.5 to 8 solid, and it'll be like this, and then a bumper, a wiggle, and it'll be like this, and then a bumper, a wiggle. The other thing I want you to know is I'm not experiencing, now that I've been doing this Serenity soft gels twice before bed for a couple of years, I'm not experiencing the things that I'm hearing other people my age talk about. And in full transparency, I'm 57 years old. And so many women my age, they're struggling. They are struggling in this area. And I'm not experiencing that. They also, doTERRA did a study, a human study, and it showed that when people use the Serenity soft gels consistently, and I believe the study was for 6 weeks, it might have been for 3 months. I should have gotten on the slide. I'm sorry, forgive me. That their brain age actually went down from using the Serenity soft gel. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that cognitive function to stay sharp and that brain age to go down. So you can't just go based off of always how you feel. Do some things to collect some data as well. So this is my number one recommendation for targeting your sleep. If you're like, okay, sleep's going to be my targeted support, the Serenity soft gels. The next is this Serenity stick. So it twists up. I should have had one here to show you in person. It twists up and it's like a solid. Not quite as soft as what maybe you'd see from a deodorant. You need to know it's clean and pure. You don't have to worry about endocrine disruptors. You don't have to worry about any of those things with doTERRA. And it also has valerian essential oil in it as well. And so as I'm getting into bed, I'll put a little bit behind my ears. I put a little bit on my wrists right here because I tend to sleep like this, so I can smell it this way. And sometimes, maybe I've had some tension, I've been at a computer for a long time, I'll put a little bit on the back of my neck or across my shoulders, right? Another little secret, we've got a 1-year-old puppy, and I put a little bit on my hands and I just pet it down her spine. And she goes into her kennel and she sleeps through the night. This is also useful if you're someone who you wake up in the night and then maybe it takes a little while to turn your brain off to go back to sleep. Because nothing about this is going to leave you feeling groggy or not alert in the morning. So if you wake up, you need to use the restroom, and you come and get back into bed, you can reapply this stick, right? And it trains your brain to turn off and go back to sleep. And the oils that are in the stick have been proven to help to relax you and to be able to go to sleep. And as you can see, it's great for kids too, because it's naturally diluted being in that stick. So even with children, you can run it up and down their spine. You can put a little bit right here too, help them to relax and to rest. So this is my top recommendation too, is the Serenity stick. The Serenity oil is undiluted blend of all oils that help with sleep and with calming. So you can see the list there, the oils in the blend. And I want you to know that when I first got the Serenity blend, it was probably about June or July of 2011. And I was in a very high stress position at the time. I was supporting kids and adults with disabilities, with day program and multiple other things. They're job coaches and the different people that come in and out of their homes and their lives to help support them. Just a lot of moving parts. And I was basically on call 24/7. And so I didn't just use this for sleep. Yes, I would put some in my diffuser. Yes, I would put a little bit on. We didn't have the sleep stick at that time, so you can use it topically, just like I was talking about with the sleep stick. But you know what? I realized I could use it during the day too. I could use it during the day. It doesn't make you like go to sleep. It's very calming. So you can see here, it says feelings of peace, overstimulation. One of my favorite things to do with this blend is to take about a cup of Epsom salts and put some drops, like 6 or 7 drops of Serenity oil on there, and then run that in a bath. Again, you can do that for kids, but maybe just use 1 or 2 drops of the Serenity blend in their bath. This is a fabulous, fabulous blend. You'll love it. So this is my sleep recommendation number 3. This can be a marriage saver. I may be speaking from experience here. So we had this experience when this blend first came into our lives that my husband would snore so much he would wake himself up. And so I kind of discreetly, I started taking some breathe and putting it on my fingers, and I'd like reach over and I would just like pat it on his chest and be like, and he would go back to sleep, right? And what it evolved to is he started applying the breathe himself before he was going to sleep because it did make such a difference for him to have his airways be more open. And you can put it in the diffuser, you can use it topically, but this is a great support for sleep. Some people like to put a drop or two in the palm of their hands, take several deep breaths, and do that as part of their nighttime routine, right? As they're calming down. And I actually have a lot of people that like to put a couple drops of Serenity and 1 or 2 drops of Breathe in their diffuser, and they find that's a great support to help them to get more sleep along with the other pieces that we're talking about. So, did you know that sleep is actually the secret ingredient to a whole bunch of other things? And that is why I said you're not just doing targeted support when you're focusing on sleep. You're supporting your metabolism, you're supporting your brain, you're supporting your digestion, you're supporting having your stress levels be able to switch and change with things that have to do with cortisol. Like it's a ripple effect, right, to lots of other things. So maybe you went through and you took your assessment and you're like, I had a whole bunch of things that came up. I'm not quite sure what to focus on. I'm here to say, as a holistic health coach, focus on your sleep. It is something that is part of a root cause of so many other systems. So if you're not quite sure what to use for your targeted support, focus on your sleep. This tells you a little bit more about all of them together. You can take a screenshot of this if this helps you to know what it is you want to look for and be able to put into your cart as you're building out your plan. And these are some other of my favorite tips to share with people, talking about like sleep hygiene, right? Sleep is so important for all of these parts. So pay attention to your room. Do you have a bunch of electronics in your sleeping space? Does it get dark? Like, do you need to invest in some blackout curtains or some ways to make it so that it can be dark when you're sleeping? Do you need an air purifier or some other way to make it so the environment is cleaner? Do you have the temperature in your room dropped a little bit? You can always add some more blankets like onto your feet or different things like that. But to have the air a cooler temperature, it actually supports better sleep. And about 20-30 minutes before you go to bed, don't worry, I've got recipes for you, but put some oils into a diffuser and start telling your brain and your body it's time to wind down. We're getting ready for bed, right? And just like with children, follow the same routine as you're getting into bed at night. That last 20 minutes or so of your day before you're climbing into bed, do the exact same thing. Those practices, they make a massive difference on your sleep quality as well. So I promised you some recipes, and here they are. You can see at the top of that circle that here's one you can see. This is what we'll call a roller bottle. So there's a roll on there, and it makes it so it's really easy to your roll your oils on. And one of the reasons why we love the roller bottles is because you can put these different recipes in, and then you fill it up the rest of the way with fractionated coconut oil, or maybe castor oil, or some apricot seed oil, or whatever your favorite organic carrier oil is. You fill it up the rest of the way with carrier oil. You can dilute doTERRA's essential oils in that way, and it actually just keeps them from flashing off as quickly. And it also reduces any possibility of there being a topical sensitivity delivered like over time that might develop over time. So these are all roller bottle blends. And again, you can like snap a picture of it, and the idea is that you put these drops into an empty roller bottle, and then you fill it up the rest of the way with the carrier oil of your choice. If you have any questions about any of these particular oils, these blends, or these singles, reach out to me or reach out to the person who invited you to the class, and they can help you understand why it's so good for sleep, or for why it might be good for you with your program. And then I also have the same thing, but diffuser blends. And so these are not meant to be diluted in a roller bottle. These are meant to just go right into your diffuser and be able to use them that 20 to 30 minutes before you're going to sleep, and then to be using them through the night. So again, go ahead and take a screenshot, take a picture with your phone, and honestly, I can't wait to hear in the comments, like, which ones are your favorites and what did you try and how did they work for you? This again is the YouTube channel where you can see that whole presentation that's on the 90-day reset program, and understand how this targeted support fits into the entire program. And this is, last but not least, just my extra gift to you. This is one of my favorite diffuser blends that I like to use in the evening to wind down and to just kind of send the signal to everybody that it's time to settle and time to calm and have the house calm down and get ready to go to sleep. And it's 3 drops of doTERRA's Peace Blend and 3 drops of doTERRA's Balance Blend. Now, in case you're wondering when our next class is, it's Friday the 18th at 11 a.m. If you need to have a link to be able to register, just let me know in the comments. And I've also put on here for you both my Instagram and my YouTube, and I can't wait to see you at the next class. Let me know what questions you have.